I spent a few days in Rome, and, walking through ruins that are 2,000 years old and walking through castles here in Prague. And, it's crazy that across thousands of years, as so many things have come and gone, civilizations and empires have collapsed and empires fell. But the one thing that remains constant, even here today, is gold. And I'm reminded of that as I walk through all of these historic places where gold has represented something significant to all of these civilizations, to all of these cultures. It's in today's world, which seems to be fractured on so many levels. Its relevance is not just returning, it's accelerating. And I've kind of been overwhelmed with that feeling as I've walked around Europe. It's weird when the United States is celebrating its 250th birthday next year, July, and yet you walk around places here that are 2,000 years old, and it brings things into perspective. Yet everywhere you go, there are signs of gold and its significance. So I don't know, just kind of neat to say that, because I think the more things change, the more they stay the same. Yeah, it's interesting to think that if you were fortunate enough to trip over a hole in ancient Rome or today in what used to be ancient Rome and find a gold piece, it would be as relevant and valuable today and as beautiful today as it was 3,000 years ago, not tarnished and not corroded, not destroyed. It's an overwhelming sense that I have had as I've walked around here. So I just wanted to kind of mention that, because you don't see that historical significance walking around southern Florida, but you sure do walking around Rome and here in Prague, soon to be in Barcelona.
It reminds me of a quote from Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Because when I mentioned this natural relationship between people and their money, which is really just a way of capturing part of their life and taking it with them to the future. In the West, recently, just the last 2 generations or so, we've tried one of these radical experiments, these thought experiments of thinking maybe we can pull one over on Mother Nature and see if we can just make up out of our own imagination, out of our own willpower, which is fiat. That's what I mean. Just your will. I want because I say so. Something that's of lasting value, that's disconnected, that's divorced from the natural roots. And in fact, there was just an article, I wanted to bring this up to you, but it ties right in here. Our article just came out from Bank of America today, and one of my recurring clients passed it along saying the gold-silver ratio trading near a 2-year high, but don't expect it to fall anytime soon. So they're kind of poo-pooing the imminent rise of silver in the face of gold. But anyway, I remember, so that's the West. The West is just kind of whistling past the graveyard. Stephen Covey's quote is, "You cannot break the laws of nature, you can only break yourself against them." So anyway.
Right. Well, but let's not forget, in the case of the gold-silver ratio, that the market can stay irrational longer than we can all stay solvent. And that's really very true. Today is a good example. I mean, the market has been unbelievably volatile today. Gold was down $80 at one point, and about an hour ago it was actually up for the day, and now it's down about $27. So, when you talk about this whipsawing, yet only giving back less than 1% on gold isn't the case right now with silver, which is down $2 to right at $32 or just above. Certainly and I guess if I had to summarize it, to me, it's almost like there's a clear effort to flush the managed money out of their long silver positions on COMEX, and maybe it's to allow these commercial banks to cover at lower prices. I don't know, but certainly today was one heck of a volatile day, not just for precious metals. I mean, look at the markets themselves. The Russell 2000 index officially has entered bear market territory for the first time since 2022, and NASDAQ down almost 6%. And the markets are getting clubbed. And then you have Secretary Bessent saying, that the collapse of the market is not a MAGA problem, it's the MAG 7 problem. And we talked about last week on your show that the MAG 7, when you talk about the hedge funds having their lowest allocation to the Mag 7 in over 2 years, things are certainly starting to get very interesting, as they say, which of course is the Chinese curse. When you live in interesting times, these are not for the faint of heart, for sure.